perfect summer dessert, this Royal Falooda is packed with delicious layers of sweetened milk, rose syrup, nuts, jelly, and topped with vanilla ice cream. The best thing about this recipe is you can prep all the ingredients ahead of time and layer up the Royal Falooda when you're ready to enjoy it. Hi, you're watching Plating It with Wendy, where I share with you recipes which impress with ease. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and click subscribe. And while you're there, hit on that bell icon to get a notification every time I upload a new video. Alright, now let's get started. To a pot, we're going to pour 1 liter of milk, and on a medium heat, we're going to bring it to a boil. We're going to stir it occasionally to avoid it from burning at the bottom. Once the milk has come to a boil, we're going to sweeten it up with half a cup of condensed milk. The condensed milk is going to add to that rich flavor of our Falooda. If you do not have condensed milk on hand and you still want to enjoy the Falooda, you can always substitute by adding sugar. About 10 minutes after allowing the milk to simmer, while stirring it constantly, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of mixed crushed nuts. I've added in a mix of pistachios, almonds, and cashew nuts. We're going to allow this to simmer for another 10 minutes while continuously whisking it. We want to really enhance all the flavor in the milk. Okay, now that we've sweetened the milk, thickened it a little bit, and flavored it with the nuts, we're going to transfer into a glass jug so that it cools before we place it into the refrigerator to chill. One of the classic ingredients in a Royal Falooda are soaked basil seeds. So we're going to go in with 2 tablespoons. And we're going to soak it in 1.5 cup of water. If you don't have basil seeds, you could always substitute with chia seeds. We're going to leave this aside for about 30 minutes so it gets a chance to soak in the water and plump up while we go over to the stove and prepare our vermicelli. We're going to go in with 50 grams of vermicelli, and I've chosen to go in with the white one. You could even use the yellow or the multicolored one. And since this is the long one, we're just going to cut it up into smaller bits. To cook the vermicelli, we're going to bring a pot of water to a boil. And once the water is boiling, we're going to add in the vermicelli. We're going to cook it for just a minute and take it out. Once the vermicelli has cooked, we're going to take it up from the hot water and put it into a colander to drain completely. Now we're going to pour in some cold water to shock it and stop it from cooking, and leave it immersed in the cold water to avoid it from sticking. Royal Falooda is layered with a variety of textures, and one classic one is jelly. So we're going to empty the packet of the jelly, and to that we're going to add 1 cup of boiling hot water and give it a stir. And we're going in with the raspberry jelly because it has that lovely deep red color. To get the jelly a little bit more set, I prefer going in with half cup of cold water instead of 1 cup as per the box instructions. And once it has cooled completely, we're going to place it into the refrigerator to set. Once the jelly is all set, it's time to cut it up into smaller bits so we're ready to start layering our Royal Falooda. You could even spoon it out if you wanted, but I prefer cutting it into small cubes. Just going to turn it around and now cut the cubes. And now using a spoon, we're just going to bring it all up. And there you get these beautiful cubes. And once we're ready to assemble the Falooda, we're going to drain off the cold water from the vermicelli while still leaving it in the colander so that any of the excess water can still drain into our bowl. We have all our ingredients prepped, so now it's time to layer up our Royal Falooda. We're going to start with the jelly. I'm going to let that go right to the bottom. We're going to layer that with some vermicelli, layer that with some of the basil seeds, and these have really plumped up well. And now we're going to top that with some of the rose syrup. Wow. And this is going to give that traditional rose flavoring to the Royal Falooda. We're going to give the sweetened milk a little whisk so that the nuts get well distributed. And then we're going to pour some into our glasses. You can see how well it's mixing with the rose syrup and it's going right down to the bottom. Just going to put a small scoop of vanilla ice cream in it. Now we're going to go and top it again with some jelly. And then we're going to repeat the layers. So we're going to put a little bit more of the vermicelli. And then some more of the basil seeds. The basil seeds make the drink so cooling on a hot summer day, and they're really very healthy actually. And we're going to top it with some more milk. We're just going to put on a little more jelly on the top. And we're going to top it with a big scoop of ice cream. I'm going to drizzle on some more of the rose syrup. I'm going to garnish it with some slivers of almond, pistachios, and cashew nuts. You can garnish it with whichever nuts you like. And let's finish it off by placing a cherry on the top. Oh my goodness! Look at that! It's a hot summer day out here, and as you can see, the ice cream is all melting, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it a taste. Put it in a straw. That's absolutely delicious. It's so cooling and refreshing. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to chill out here and enjoy my Falooda. Thanks for watching. See you soon.